So before we begin, I want to make sure that we're all here for the same reason. So I'm going to hold up a card. I would like you to repeat this word 3 times. Okay? Promise? You can do that, right? Yeah, okay. Okay, let me hear it. Why are we here? Okay, I want to make sure yours stays healthy, and that's why we're here, okay? And just to be clear, it is Monday, and on Mondays, we celebrate Menopause Mondays. So let me tell you a little bit about myself. Other than the fact that I travel around talking about my vagina, which of course my 93-year-old mother is just now getting used to, actually, but I'm sure it wasn't her dream for her daughter to do this, but I want to share my story with you. So I was a functioning, totally over-the-top, organized person with 2 children. I was in business with my husband, and I was in my 40s, and all of a sudden I was in a business meeting, and seriously, I couldn't think. I stopped in the middle of a sentence in a meeting, and I couldn't finish my sentence. I thought I was in the early stages of Alzheimer's. I had no idea that memory loss is one of the symptoms of menopause. As a matter of fact, I was just on the Today Show on Tuesday with a few ladies in the room here that were at the menopause party. The Today Show came in and filmed it. It was on Tuesday, about the new study about memory loss and menopause. Thank goodness they validated the fact that this is real at the University of Illinois and Northwestern in Chicago. But it is a real issue, memory loss. So anyway, I'm in this meeting and I am mortified because I can't finish my sentence. And I thought, oh, it's just a fluke. And then it kept happening. And I found myself really getting scared to be in the meetings and to function and do my job. And my husband always finished my sentences for me, but everybody thought that was so cute because we work and play together, but it wasn't cute to me. And I really ended up, changing my personality for several years because I'm not a wallflower, you can see that. I became really not confident in my own ability. And so I went along with this, and I found out through research that I did myself that this could be perimenopause. I was on the internet because I wasn't sleeping, and then I found myself really, irritable. And honestly, I didn't like the me I was waking up to every day. I realized I was in perimenopause, and it took me probably 4 years to get the help I needed. 4 years. Luckily, I had an understanding husband, really, because I don't know how he stayed with me. It was tough. And when I think about it, it makes me sad. But I went to my mom. My mom told me that she didn't have time for menopause. Not because she didn't want to help me, but that's how she was brought up. Her mother went through a serious depression during menopause and ended up having shock therapy. So I understood why my mom never told me anything about menopause, because she didn't have it according to her, and she didn't want me to have it. And she never told me that my grandmother had shock therapy because of menopause. She just told me she had shock therapy. So when I put that all together, I realized why it was a big secret, why our generation is responsible now to breaking that taboo and to making sure that people understand that perimenopause happens between the ages of 38 and 48. That's not old. That's young. And the average age of menopause is 51. That's not old. That's young. I'm going to be 60 in a few months. 51 is young. And I feel young now because I got the help I needed. So what I want to do is make sure that everyone here understands the reason I wrote the book I wrote is not because I was a writer, but I was mad. I was mad that no one told me about this. I was mad I wasn't prepared. And I wanted to make sure that no one else suffered, because you don't have to suffer. And that's why I have these Menopause Mondays parties. And the first Monday of every month, I have a Google Hangout. If you can't come to my live parties, you can hang out on your computer with me. Today I had a very prestigious doctor on from New York. And if you missed the Google Hangout, you can go on my website, ellendolgen.com, and you can actually watch the whole Hangout. And he addressed a lot of very important issues that I want to address with you right now. Does anybody here know what ED is? No, yeah. Erectile dysfunction, no one knows? Has anybody heard of erectile dysfunction? Oh, yeah.
No, thank God. I've never heard of
Yeah. Okay, so here's what I want to tell you. Has anybody here heard of VA? Do you know what VA is? Raise your hand. Do you know what VA is? Oh, we have a few people. Okay, so one of the reasons that we haven't heard about VA and that most people here don't know anything about it is because we don't talk about the vagina. That's why I lifted up the word vagina, because it's sort of like a bad word for some reason. It's a part of our body. And if you don't take care of your vagina, you're going to have VA. Yeah, and you don't want to have this. You don't want to have this. So if you wake up one day during perimenopause and all of a sudden you think that your vagina took a trip to the desert, and I'm not talking Las Vegas. I mean, it's packed up, it's dry, it's parched, then you have symptoms of vaginal atrophy. And it happens during perimenopause, and that's why I want to talk about it, because it's never talked about, and there are no commercials about vaginal atrophy. And so let me tell you what happens when you start to go through perimenopause. Your hormones start to decline. Usually it takes a while for the period to stop. It's quite the drama queen, really. It's like coming, it's going, it's like lasting for 20 days. It's unbelievable. I mean, I remember being at a party in my backyard in a white dress, and I thought I was already in menopause. I hadn't had a period in 8 months. All of a sudden, I got up from my seat, and there was my period on my white dress and my orange sofa. It was really unbelievable. And so it takes a while for the period to stop, so don't be worried if you're going through that period now. But during those stages, you can experience a lot of symptoms, and there are over 30 symptoms of perimenopause. Memory loss, irritability, depression. You can feel like you just don't fit in, and you used to feel you did. You used to feel like you were okay, but all of a sudden you don't feel okay. You can have anxiety, and hot flashes, of course, are the ones we all know about, but hot flashes, night sweats, sleepless nights is a huge problem. And I'm going to tell you there are over 70% of women have menopausal symptoms that are untreated. That's huge. Especially since 6,000 women enter menopause every day. There are 50 million women in North America in menopause. So we need to break this taboo and figure out how we can get the help we need. So here's how you get the help you need. First, you have to be okay with not being fine. That's a big thing for women. We all want to be fine. We're fine. You ask a woman how you are, I'm fine. I'm fine. I always say to somebody who says they're fine, really, how are you really feeling? You know, because I was in the fine club. I was always in the fine club. That's number one. Then you have to put yourself on your own to-do list. That's real important. And you have to trust how you feel, because you know when you don't feel good. And then you have to find a menopause specialist. So, I mean, would you take your child to a dentist for a broken kneecap? No. So why would you go to a doctor who knows nothing about menopause to help you with your menopausal journey? Don't do it. I do have a menopause doctor directory on my website. You can put in your zip code. These are all doctors that have been recommended by the sisterhood. I haven't gone to all of these doctors. But the sisterhood recommended them, and these women have found hormone happiness, so that's a good thing. So how do you find hormone happiness? Well, you need to have your hormones checked. If you're not feeling good, I always say, you know, if you'd rather mop your kitchen floor than get in bed with your lover, it might be that you're in perimenopause. So it might be time. So, I mean, my husband was so cute. You know, I had Post-it notes all over my house. I mean, on my dashboard, everything had a Post-it note. One night I got in bed, he had one on himself. It says, remember me? So, you know, it's good to talk about these things with your partner and laugh about them, but you need to get help. So you need to find a menopause specialist. You also need to communicate how you feel, and I've tried to help you with that. I have a menopause symptoms chart in your packet. Also, if you sign up for my newsletter, ellendolgen.com, it comes to you electronically as your gift from me. Download it, start filling it out before you go to your menopause specialist so the doctor knows how you feel, because your blood work is half the story and how you feel is the other half of the story. And if you don't communicate how you feel, you're not going to get the help you deserve. Because guess what? Your doctor does not have a crystal ball. They do not know what you're thinking. So communicate how you feel. And keep your relationship honest and open with the people that you love. Share the chart with them and say, look, this is what I'm going through. You know, I did a segment on one of the Fox News shows, and it was called Dueling Hormones. That's when you have a pubescent child in the house and you're in perimenopause. I call that a perfect storm. As a matter of fact, I was on the Naval Base San Diego speaking a couple weeks ago to the military so they would be prepared, and military wives and civilians who work for the military. It was a really honor for me to do that. And I told them that's a perfect storm, and they were cracking up. But the point is that if you communicate, the people that you love are not going to personalize what you're going through, but they're going to be supportive. And you might find that your pubescent child is going through the same things. They're not sleeping, they don't feel like they fit in, and they're going through a difficult time as well. So, you know, it really breaks open the communication when you share your vulnerability. And so my journey took me to Menopause Mondays. Menopause Mondays is my way of making sure nobody else suffers. We do these Google Hangouts on the first Monday of every month. I have live events, and if you sign up for my newsletter, you'll be kept in the know so that you are up with the latest information. Because I want you to know I'm here for you. I'm here for you. I didn't really feel like anybody was there for me. You know, and it was painful. So, this is why we're here.